And it's already recorded,
Sure.
and it's just your audio. Check 1 2, check 1 2, testing 1 2.
Should I? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then if you want to, so will it just be you in the meeting or will it be more
Students.
students? Okay, yeah, so it should get a good view. Let me see.
I also need to log to my own stuff.
Okay, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, if you want me to pause the recording right now.
Yeah.
Recording. Do you want to minimize this? If you want to see this or you want me to? Hey, buddy. All right. Yes, is that all right?
We are recording.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you should be able to go. Yeah.
They will mention recording sound.
Yeah, it's just, see that red button, you see that red thing, it's recording.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you can, do you need a clicker or anything in here? You sure?
Here,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
This one.
okay, all right.
We don't have that, but maybe next.
I can get you one real quick if you need.
That would be great.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
Don't you have, I thought this one was from 10.
Huh?
The
No,
enter
I just,
permission.
mine was from 9 to 10.
Is the recording?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, good.
Where is the microphone here?
That one.
Yeah, so it picks up, it'll pick up from the room.
Thank you, Horace.
Yeah.
You're good. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Since last time, we have talked about the SAS user interface, overview of the course and overview of the SAS. What are the basic functions? And in today's lecture, we will start to learn more information about the basic SAS programming skill sets. And after today's lecture, you will start to do the programming yourself for the homework. So in the first half of today's lecture, there are three parts of today's lecture. In the beginning part, I will go over the today's key agenda. There are 7 topics we want to cover today. First is understanding the user interface in SAS and SAS Studio. I will cover 8 of them. Okay, 7 or 8 of them today's lecture. So the first hour, we will just go over the slides. And then in the second hour, we will go to the SAS Studio actually to see how to implement these procedures or the programming skill set. And then the last hour, we will go over the final projects and homework together. Okay.
Do we
Now-
have access to these slides?
Yes. So the slides are all in the box, week 1. So all the information in the box week 1. And we will also maybe talk about the Blackboard as well in the third hour. Now, did you get that the slide? Okay, we all got the slides. Okay, perfect. Now, we have noticed that in the local SAS, which I shared last time, they are about 6 windows, SAS windows that we are dealing with. The enhanced editor window, where you wrote your program, and the log window is where you see how like the correctness of your program in the log window. You have to check. An output window and results window helps you to see the results of your programming. And we also have Explorer window, which is on your left hand. The Explorer window shows you the location of libraries. And there's also result viewer window. We can go into the SAS Studio later to check the location of that. In SAS versus SAS Studio, their location is a little different, but they can also achieve all those functions. I just provide a snapshot of this is a local SAS programming, local SAS software user interface. If you look at here, that there are the 7 windows that we just talked about. In your left hand is the Explorer window. In the Explorer window, we have libraries. And in your right hand, there are multiple windows here. What I want to pinpoint here is first, you have this, we can call it enhanced editor window here. You just need to click the file. You just click the, I think in the next slide, you can see you click the viewer and then you can, under the viewer button, there is an enhanced editor window where you can obtain either a blank sheet for you to start to do the programming, or if you have existing programs, you can click the file and then under the file button, there's open existing file, which you can find it from with your existing SAS programming, SAS programs. And if you notice here, this is called enhanced editor window. And this is the name of your SAS programs, and which ends with .SAS. So with that, you know this is your existing SAS programs. On the left hand of this SAS programs, you have these log windows, which after you run this program, you can, how to say, this setup here is good, which I also like here because its log window is already open here. So you don't need to have to go back and forth, like shift 2 pages to see whether your code are running successfully. So it's also a good habit if you can put them in this way. So you have half of the page, half of the screen is your enhanced editing window, which shows the programming you are doing right now. And then the other half of the page is shows you the log window to see help you check the correctness of your progress. And on the left of this log window is output window. And we also have the results viewer window. Usually in the latest version of SAS, once you run the program successfully, for example, here they just run it's a scatter plot. Once you run it, SAS will generate the results viewer window, which is in the HTML default setting in the latest version of SAS. That's so far for, so when you start the SAS programming in the local SAS software, you see you are dealing with multiple windows here. And like I said, this name is the name of your programs, which ends with the .sas. And you can click the file, which opens existing file from your local laptop to get access to the SAS programs that you want to open. Now, like I said, the SAS Studio user face is different from the local SAS, but the function are basically the same. It's just the location a little different. We have to get used to them for this class because all the homework projects, we have to do it here. So we need to get accustomed to it. Well, it's also my first time, to be honest, to do the programming on the SAS Studio user interface. So I will learn with this SAS Studio user interface with you all together from this class as well. So I noticed that the SAS Studio user interface, they also have like left and right screen or part, I would say. On your left part, there are three key parts. One is we call the server file and folders. So the server file and folders, it's like your in your own laptop, you have different files, different folders. So this is like the file and folders on the cloud on this SAS Studio user online platform. And on another part is the task and the utility. The task and utility is actually the unique part of SAS Studio user, a SAS online studio that allows you to access different packages or different functions in the SAS. We can get that later. In the library, this is same with the local SAS library, where the library houses different folders, and within different folders, you houses different files. Now, I want to also mention on your right hand, it's same with the local SAS. They in the SAS Studio user interface, they also have this enhanced editor, which we can see here. It's from it's something here we can click, and then they can open a program. And this program one is also the name of your SAS programs. And different from the SAS local SAS version, under this name of this program, you have this code, log, and results, which corresponds to the enhanced editor window, and then the log window, and also the results viewer window here, which like we talk about for local SAS. Now, let's move on to what I mentioned about the tasking utility. If you click the tasking utility, it's just pops up different, I would say, functions that SAS allows us to, the SAS Studio allows us to do online. And it can help us to generate the some of the code, but we need to specify some information here. We can get down to that once we do the final project. It requires us to do some graphing. We can use some of this function here, like We can maybe create a pie chart or maybe, histogram. We can talk about that later. And I would also mention that this part is a unique part of online SAS Studio, which have all those tasks or utility that we can access. Thirdly is the library. We have talked about last time that we can create some folders within the library. And another, I would not benefit, but another part, another advantage of the library on the online SAS Studio is that they have a lot of free example data sets. We can see here that if you clicked the SAS help, they just shows you a list of different data sets, example data sets. And within this example data set, we can definitely show it later when we get to the SAS Studio in the second hour. What I want to show here is that example data sets, it allows you to view the structural SAS data. Remember last time we talked about what is the structure of SAS data? So the data involves, if you look at here, this data is called baseball. And this data, they have 322 rows. We call it 322 observations. And they have 24 columns, which we can call 24 variables. And I just give a snapshot. And here they also list these 24 variables on the columns. You can either click one. If you unclick one, they will just show you the part of the data. So when we shift to the SAS Studio user interface, we can play more with these data sets. But those are the example data sets we can view and give you a feeling what is SAS data sets.
Did we get access to those because it's part of the academic thing, or?
We can get access. So I actually, because of the presentation, it's hard for me to shift back and forth. But I also encourage you, if you can, in your laptop, go to the screenshot, if you can go to your libraries, but because of the ease of presentation. So you can have a look at the side, right? You can see the baseball, right? Yeah. Okay. What's your question? I forgot.
Mine was, do we get access to this with the program, or is it because did you put these into the system?
I believe we can get access to the programs.
So
that's good. Yeah. Good question. I believe because those are all the example data sets. We can definitely see, but that's a good question. That's how I think. Yeah. And now let's move on to the second topic. So we already seen the user interface from the SAS Studio. Library, we have talked briefly last time. SAS library is collection of one or more SAS files under a folder. So you can think of a SAS library, some of like the folder in your laptop. Where in a laptop, the folder houses different files. Same with SAS library, it houses different files. And each file is a member of the library. This is definitely one key important point in today's lecture and this week's homework. It's assigning SAS library. Well, to access SAS library, you have to tell SAS two things. One, what's the name of your library? Two, where's the path that you want to assign to this library? There are actually two ways to assign SAS library, but I want to focus on the second way, second method. First method we can also incorporate in the data steps, but let's focus on the second method, which we briefly talked about last time. It's when you want to assign a SAS library, you have to do two things. I wrote here. To set up library, you should first make a name for your library. Second, tell SAS where it is. This can be achieved using the SAS function lib name statement, or we can call it lib name function, can help us to assign a SAS library. So after writing the lib name, you write the name of SAS library name, like my library, or NCase library, whichever name you want to assign to the SAS library. Give it name here. And then next thing is specify the path you want to link to this library or corresponds to the library. Now, this is example I included here just to show you what we have discussed about assigning library. If you notice here, this is a template. All you need to do just revise the. If you notice here, what we have done here is we start with lib name, and then the library we mentioned is called sales, and then path. The path we need to customize it based on each one of you use a folder path. Same with when you do the local SAS, each one's folder is different, right? So the path you have to customize it. So this example just assigned library, the library, or we can call it library name, SAS, to a location which specify like SAS library. So I want to remember example, and I want to also know like the sales you need to customize with your own library name. The SAS library, you have to customize it with the path in your laptop or in your SAS Studio's user folder path. Okay, just remember example. We can get to detail of these programs later. I guess in the fourth or fifth part of these slides. I want to briefly mention, if you look at here, SAS.quarter1, it basically means SAS is library name. And then quarter1 is data set name. So you want to access a data set. Once you want to access data sets, there's a two part of the data set name. The first part is library name, and the second part is data set name. We can get to that in the fourth or fifth part. We have more clarification there. This is the same example, like assigning a SAS library. Here we just create as the library's name is called my library, and the member one is the file's name. Okay, now now we move on to the third part of today's lecture. It's about what is the third part? It's about the data set, SAS data sets, and
reading and exploring a data set.
Okay, reading, exploring the data sets. We actually have already do that before, last time and actually this time. So reading the data sets, I would say a straightforward way for you is just to, if you notice here in the sample data, it's just for you to double click these data sets. Once you click the data set, it will pops up the structure of the data sets, right? For example, in the SAS Online Studio, when you clicked because under cars, there are different, so when you click the cars, the data set is called cars. The name of data set is called cars, and the library is called SAS help. all of you can try it right now in your SAS studio. If you just click cars, you can just view the data sets. You can see, tell me how many columns, how many rows in this SAS help cars data sets.
428 rows.
15 columns, thank you, Ivy. 15 columns means 15
Variables.
variables. For example, there is cylinders, different characteristics of cars, right? 50 variables, columns. How many observations?
428.
For 28 cars, for 28 observations. This is the way that you can, explore the data, just click it. And some information you already know that, as just Ivy mentioned, there is a 50 columns, means that there are 50 observations. Oh, I'm sorry, 50 variables, 50 variables. And then Sai mentioned there are 322 observations, 322 rows. This is the basic elements when we talk about SAS data sets. And we also mentioned that if Ivy, can you give us an example among the 50 variables, or anyone can give us example among the 50 variables? What are the character data, or what are the numerical data? Anyone can give an example. So before that, I want to mention character data is composed of letters, numbers, special characters, and blanks. And then numeric data is just numbers. Let me give an example first. Numeric data can be one's age, right? It can be one's BMI, right? It's a numeric value. It's a numeric data. Now, let me give an example about character data. Character data can be the race. Okay, racial groups, different race, ethnicity. It can be geographic region. Okay, I came from South. You may come from West. That's kind of character data. So now within the data sets, the cars, can anyone give me an example, either character or numeric data? What I mentioned about this is the variables. As Ivy mentioned, there are 50 columns, 50 variables. So
Weight is numeric.
weight, right? You mean the weight?
Or engine size.
Engine size is, engine size is a numeric. Can you also just read one observation, any value that you want to give? Like value. 1.8 engine size. Thank you, Ivy. Anyone else want to try?
The make of the quality of character.
Nice. Yes, the make of car. Can you give an example about the make? What's your favorite?
BMW. My sister.
Okay.
But on here, BMW.
Sure.
Audi.
Okay, nice. Thank you, NK. Okay.
You can only view 100 at a time, is it?
Oh.
Go to shift the way, yeah, it's right.
Okay. Okay, great. They are all good examples. I like it. And maybe the length is also a numeric, if I'm correct. I cannot see the values, but the length can also be a numeric. Okay, great. Now let's move on. Some more information about the conventions we have to keep in mind when we, set up our variable names. You cannot set up as long as you want it. It can be, so SAS data sets and variable name criteria can be 32 characters long. Character, I mean, A is a character, B is a character. It's letter, right? 32 characters long. It can be uppercase, lowercase, or a mixture of these cases. they are not case sensitive. I think that's good news. They are not case sensitive. They cannot start with numbers, cannot contain special character or blanks. They must start with either a letter or an underscore. Once you start to do the programming, you will get familiar with all these, conventions. But just to emphasize, they cannot start with numbers. If you do that, maybe the log will pops up an error message. So remember to start with letter or underscore. Now, there are also missing data in the SAS. The data we're dealing with, some of them will have missing data. For the character variables, the missing data will be displayed as a blank. What I mean is that if you just clicked the data sets, if there's a missing data there, that value in this character, like what NK mentioned, that value will be displayed as a blank. If there's a numeric, like the engine size, if it's missing, they will be displayed as a period. I don't know whether we have missing data in the sample data set. Can anyone tell me if, for example, if the engine variable that Ivy mentioned, if there's missing data, are they displayed in the periods as we mentioned here? I don't know whether there's no missing. Okay, maybe the example data they already handled it well, but that's how I want to mention. They will show differently. And another way I want us to remember, also part of the homework, is we can use a procedure code, or we can use a SAS code called proc contents to explore our data sets. We can, of course, view it, but sometimes if it's real world data, it's really large. If you click it, it really takes a long time for SAS to respond to you to open this data sets for you. So what you can do more efficiently is just to use these steps, the codings that I show here. One is called proc contents. Once you do that, we can show you in the second hour. They will give you the, it's more like the directory of your data set. So if you look at your book, read your book, open your book, there's a contents, right? The proc contents is more like that. They will summarize, hey, there is, 322 observations, and then 50 columns. The proc contents describes contents of your SAS data sets. Another coding I want to share is proc print. They will print out observations, but I want to caution you here to use it wisely. And for the example data sets, totally fine. But when you do the real world data sets, you have to specify observations equals, otherwise it's gonna print out all the observations, which takes a lot of time for the SAS to correspond. We will get to there later. But right now, it's absolutely fine because example data set that we can see is 300 observations. Now, this example about the proc contents codes, I want also you to remember it. Let's look at this example here. Here, they start with starting specify the library's name, and then the proc contents follows. You start with proc contents. Remember, it's proc contents, and then data equals the data name. Like I said, health is the library name, and then group is the data set name. Okay. And you also have the out here. It means that they will generate a new data set after that. You may not need to specify. I do not usually do that. What I just do is proc contents data equals health.group, and then semicolon, and then title. I encourage you to have a title here. So with that, once it generates the contents directories, they will give you a beautiful titles. And I actually like the second one as well. The second one is more straightforward, more, that's actually all you need to do. For contents data equals your SAS data sets, and then add a title here. So people know what is this contents about, which, this contents is the contents of this data set, and then semicolon long. Okay, we will implement that coding in the homework. Do not worry, we will also do that coding together in the second half of the class. Okay, moving to the proc print. Proc contents give you actually gives you a list of these variables and also summarize number of observations, number of rows. What proc print to do is actually more straightforward, like we do printing all the time. Proc print just print out your data sets. Print out all the observation variables of your data set, exactly what you have visually when you click to view the data sets. When you do the proc print, same with proc contents, you start with the procedure's name. It's called proc print, and then you call the data. Data equals, you call the data, you specify the data name here. Data equals extract is the data set name. What it can also helps you if sometimes you may be just interested in the make variable, the engine size variable, you can specify which variable you are interested in. You just specify variable's name here. And after semicolon, you also give us a title here. And you also can add a footnote here. Those two steps are optional. The proc print is required. And even the variable is optional. Of course, the wrong statement is required. What you can also do is if add a quote, and then I did not have here, but what you can actually do is add a quote here after the express B. Add a quote. In the quote, you can say OBS equals 100 or OBS equals 10. It can just print out the first 10 observations. That's what I like to do because sometimes reading for contents can be, because printing out is really straightforward. You can just know all the variables name. What I will do is just OBS equals 1. So I can just print out all, I can see all the observations names. I'm sorry, all the variables names. Before I'm moving forward, I want to mention, of course, we will get a chance to practice them in the second half of today's class. For each of those procedure slides, I also have a link here. If you can copy and paste, you can see that this link, because this is just the basic syntax that I show you, proc contents, proc print. They have enhanced function. If you want to explore it more, you can go to the link. They will show you there are other enhanced or optional statement that you can have in these procedures. Especially with proc print, like what I mentioned, the observation quote, observation equals 10 or 1. Get familiar with it using this link. Now, moving on to the next part, I'm assuming all of you already have some knowledge here, based on our discussion, is SAS language. And we will talk about SAS language and the 2 key steps, procedure class, data steps and proc steps. Before that, the SAS languages is just, I would say SAS programs is consist of a sequence of statements executed in order. So it's like a manuscript is consists of different sentences. And with the SAS programs, each programs is consist of a sequence of statement. And you will notice that each statement ends with a semicolon. And the layout and a little bit more about conventions when it comes to SAS language. Layout of SAS program. Within the SAS program, the statement you can write either uppercase, lowercase, does not matter because it's not case sensitive. Statement, you can continue the statement on the same line or next line, does not matter, but each statement must end with a semicolon. And statement can start in any column. Like I said, the way you wrote the statement can be on the same line or different lines, or same column or different column, does not matter, but each statement must end with a semicolon. To some extent, we can say SAS a little flexible here. Now, I also want to mention the comments, because when you wrote a SAS programs, it's really a good habit to start commenting on SAS programs for yourself, because sometimes when you have a project, you finish project, you submit for a manuscript, it may take at least several months for the reviewer's response to your manuscript, right? Hopefully 3 months, but there's another paper we are going through that has already been almost 6 months, but it's still under review. What I'm saying is that you do the program, maybe it takes another 6 months, more times when you get a feedback from the journal. The journal editor may want you to do more analysis. You may not exactly remember what have you done 6 months ago. So it's a good habit to start to comment your program, to help yourself, help your colleagues when they collaborate with you. How can we do the comments? It's really, really easy. There are 2 ways we can do. And when the comments are correctly added, they will turn into the color gray. So the first way we can do is just add asterisk, but you all know what I mean. It's this symbol, asterisk. Another way you can do, and what I like to do better, I usually do is like a slash, asterisk, and then asterisk, a slash. So your comments are in between of these 2 slash and asterisk, okay? Those are just 2 ways. For example, if you notice here, the first one is just add asterisk. And there's another person, maybe he likes the comments in between, is the 2 slash and asterisk. Those are just 2 ways you can add a comments. And the color will turn into green, so people know it's your comments. Now, moving forward, after talking about SAS language, we will again emphasize a SAS statement and SAS programs consist of either data steps or proc steps or combination of both. So a typical program starts with the data steps that helps you to create a SAS data sets or modify existing data sets, like adding a column, delete observation. And after that, they will pass the data sets. You can have a proc steps for processing the data, usually for analytical purpose, or like we have seen for print out the data sets or print out the contents, the directory of your data sets. So SAS programs constructed of 2 basic building blocks, data sets and proc sets. And I like this picture really very much. Is they helps you to visually see what it is, the function of the data steps and the proc steps. So basically, you have a raw data to access. Either is a SAS 7B dot, or either is Excel file or the SPSS file, and then you need to use the data steps so that it can be in a form in the SAS 7B dot format that SAS can read. With that turning into SAS data sets, you can also maybe during this process using data sets to manage it in a way that you are interested in. There may be just 2 variables, 3 variables you are interested in, or maybe just several observations you are interested in. Those data management or the data accessing, data management are all implemented here using a data statement. After you get your ideal SAS data sets, you will then move it to the proc steps. We can call SAS procedure steps statement. So it can help you generate the results of your analysis, or different plotting, different tabulatory presentation, and then you can get your final project. That's how it works. So begin with this is how the data steps and proc steps working together. And this is just one example that we have a data set here, which is actually create a new data set named example data set with a new variable. We can get to those statements later. And then after that, they just use a procedure step just to print out this data sets with these new variables. We will get to that in details, but just you get to know the feeling that data sets and proc steps work hand in hand. Just to summarize, in data steps, we began with data statements. The function is to read modified data, and it usually help us create a new data set. For example, here is create a new data set named example. And then proc steps begins with a proc statement and then perform specific analysis of functions. It helps us to produce results and report. Now, moving on to creating and is that creating and exploring a SAS data? Okay, creating a SAS 7B data files. Here, there is one simple example here. They start with a txt file. And they can use the in-format statement and format statement to create an EMP data file, which is a SAS data file. We will get to the examples later together. Now, we will move to temporary and permanent library. Am I right? Okay. Anyone heard about the temporary and permanent library? Any idea? Okay. We have seen the examples that we have to create a library, right? In the library, if each member is each file is a member. So the reason why we need to create a library is because we want to save these data sets in the library. Next time when we close this workstation, the data set is still in the library. This is called the permanent data sets. But if we do not create a library, SAS will help us to get all these data sets in a library we call the work library. But the work library, they will automatically assign the data sets in the work library. But the work library is temporary. If you close your SAS or studio, the file will be gone. So before talking to that, I want us also start to get familiar with each SAS data set has 2 levels of it. This is its format. This is its format. This is format, libphrase, and file name. So libphrase is the library name, and then file name is the file name for the SAS data set. If you assign a library, the data will be in the libphrase you assign, but if not, it will be assigned to the work dot data set. And the work dot, you don't need to write it. It will automatically assign to the work dot file. However, like I said, you can also use one level name. When you use a one level name, the file name, they just default refers to a work library. That is a temporary SAS library. So what I feel, what I suggest to do, if you think this data set is, you don't need to use it next time, for sure, if it is just for, intermediate purpose, you just need to specify the file name. But if you really need it for next time for an analytical purpose, you have to save it in your library. Otherwise, it will automatically save in the libvirt library called work, which is template. So again, there is two examples that you can look at. Like we said, if it is a one level name, for example, the data set can be just called scores, SAS data set. This is just mean that they this is one level name, and usually they have two levels. My file.score, and this means that score is housed in the library called libvirt. But if you just have one level name, automatically we think the score data set is housed in the library called, work library, which is template. Again, more information about template and permanent library. When you start a SAS session, SAS automatically assign the work to a special SAS library. If you look at the library on the SAS Studio, there is always a work library there. It's a special SAS library. They will automatically save all your data if they have not been assigned to any library with only one, the term we can call with only one level names. And SAS initiate a work library when you begin SAS session. And please be aware, it will delete all the files in the work library once you close it. So just be reminded that work library is a place to store your file, which you do not want to necessarily save the file for next time use. They will automatically delete the work library. So it's a good habit that you create a permanent library using the lib name statement, so that a libvirt library reference is assigned to the SAS library, and you can, once you even close this station, your data file will still be in the libvirt, and they are available from one SAS session to another, to the next. Okay. This is that we show in the local SAS that we have already seen last time. On your left hand, there is Explorer window. In the Explorer window, there is the library button. And then in the editor window, you can type your lib name to specify your library. For example, we type here lib name Tina, and then there is a path you want to assign to. Okay, now moving on to the next part is importing data into SAS Studio. SAS allows us to read different types of data that can be imported into SAS or SAS Studio. This is also part of our homework, which is actually key part is assessing data. You can import different types of data file into SAS Studio. We just highlight two commonly used data sets file. One is delimited file, the other Excel files. We will show you next that how you can use point and click import wizard to import the file. But here we will show you the code that you can use. So first, import a delimited file. The delimited file can be when you see a file that ends with a CSV or TXT text, or the TSV, DLM. Usually I see a file ends with CSV or TXT. This is a delimited file. you have to use this code. You have to write this code. So SAS will import this TXT or CSV file into your library. So let me quickly explain this code. Of course, you don't need to memorize this class. All you do is you understand, you know how to modify the code, because you cannot use exactly, there's part you have to modify. So no memorization here is needed. All you need to do is to understand it, modify it, and then I'm not saying copy and paste, but type it and customize it based on your folder, based on the file name, then put it in your, submit for your homework, use it for your homework. So here, start with proc import. And then you have this data file. Basically, this just specifies the path of your data file. Okay, if you look at it here, the delimiter is my file's name. So this data file is within this place, and you can definitely know the delimiter. The first one, like I said, specified input file, the path. Now you have this DBMS. The DBMS specify that this input file is a delimitated file. There's a different way. If it is a CSV, let us show you later within this one link. Okay, so specified input file is a delimitated file. Delimitate, DLM is acronym for delimited. Clear? So DBMS equals delimited file. Now you have out equals. This means identified output SAS data sets. So you start with delimited, and then you want to tell SAS, hey, convert it into the SAS data sets. And then when you import it there, the data sets will be called my data. So this means identified output SAS data set. And then you replace it. Replace the data if it exists. You add a statement, replace it. And then there's other optional statement. Get name equals yes. I always recommend it to get it, to have it there, because in your TXT file, usually the first rows is the name of your variables. So you also want it there to be reflected in your new SAS file, the my data file. So get name equals yes. So I also have a link here if you want to know more about this procedure, the proc import procedure. Now let's move on to how to import Excel worksheet. They also use the proc import procedure. But if you notice here, this data file now is called classroom, and it ends with XLSX. It means it's Excel sheet. So the first step is also data file equals the path for the import file. And then if you notice here, DBMS is different from previous one. We have delimited D, if I remember what is previous one. DLM thing. The previous DLM, it means delimited. Here, we specify the type of data to be imported is XLSX, right? It's Excel file. And then out equals the data set. I named it as my data. Here I name it my classroom. Okay, because you do not want to name it exactly the same. Just be careful. So, and then you also want to replace it, override existing SAS data sets, and then you run it. Okay, so those are the required statement. The proc import is required statement. Data file is a required statement. Out is a required statement. Of course, run is a required statement. So also, if you're interested, check this link. It will give you more enhanced understanding. But those are the basic. Those are just the basic. We need to understand what are the proc import mean, what are the DBMS mean, what is the out mean, what does the run mean. Those are the basic for us to import either a Excel sheet or import a delimited file into our SAS library or SAS studio. This one, it can be a work library because if you notice here, just a work dot, my classroom means that assigns to work library. Quick question, what are these data sets assigned to? Thank you, Ivy. Clear? This also assigns to work because when we have one, Ivy, do you want to? Why? How do you know it's assigned to the work library?
Because it's one level. Then the automatic will be in temporary level, which is good.
Perfect. That's correct answer.
Oh, we should think of it the other way, right? We did not specify anything for the other thing.
Yeah.
That's why it's in work,
That's true.
Yeah,
not because
Yeah.
it's one level.
it's actually the same
Same
thing. You guys, it's one level. Yeah, automatically assigned to work. Those are all the correct way to think about it.
What do you mean by one level? So.
Without the table.
What?
Without the table. Like if you have two types of name, this is one type, another type is you have a period.
You can put my data dot and give it some other thing. That means it's a 2-level thing.
Because it doesn't specify the language.
One level,
So what about 3 level?
There's no.
You don't use it.
So-
Just to-
yeah, 2 level. Ben, good question. And all for everyone's clarity. 1 level, like Ivy mentioned, everyone, there's no dot. It's maybe just my data, my classroom. It's 1 level. Like 1 level. If they have like my library dot, my data is 2 level. There's a dot. It's called 2 level.
So if you specify the folder where you want the data set to be saved, that's a 2-level.
Correct.
specification.
If you want your data to be saved, always 2 level. And in the first part is the library name dot data set. The first library name is your permanent library's name. But if the first level is work dot, it's still temporary. So the two, so it reminds us, usually your data sets will have 2 levels. Like our name, we have first name, we have family name, right? Same with SAS data set, usually recommended to have 2 levels. And then first is library name, second is data sets. We will get used to that soon. Clear, everyone? Okay, that's good. Okay, now, last part, we will talk about a key important procedure is sorting procedure. We will show you, we can point and click, but I also recommend you to do the coding here because point and click, you cannot save it. To do the coding, you have the coding next time. When you go back, you can know what coding you wrote here. So sorting procedure, basically what does sorting procedure do? Let me give you an example. Sometimes if you have, for example, when we have the car data sets, Ivy mentioned the engine size is a numeric variable. What if we want to, just shows it in a way that we can see the data arranged in a way from the engine size, from the smallest to the largest. Okay, and what if we have a data set, we want to sort it in a way that the people's last name is sorted in the alphabetic order. Okay, A, B, C, D. There's a different way we want to presenting the data for us, for the audience to understand. We, as a clinician, you may want to see, I want to see all the patient, what is, the blood, the BMI level, like from the smallest to the largest. We can get to know like what the percentage of obese patients, what the percentage of underweight patients. So sorting procedure is really commonly used procedure. It allows us to, orders. I like the word orders SAS data observations by the value of one or more character or numeric values. And we will get to know when it usually deals with numeric value. and be aware. The sorting procedure may replace your original data sets or create a new data set. If you do not specify the out, it will just replace your original data sets. It may not be a big problem, but I also encourage you to have out statement there. So once you sorted this data sets, the new sorted data sets will be saved in the out data sets. Otherwise, we'll just replace your existing data sets. Now, let's see what does the sorting procedure looks like. This is really the basic sorting procedure function. We have, if we open this one, we can look at more enhanced function, but this is really the basic. If you look at here, there's just a sorted data named employee. And this is actually the one level data sets we mentioned. It means employee data sets is housed in the work library. So they sort this employee data sets by the variable called ID number. So ID1, ID2, ID3. And then they later print out the employee data sets. So in this example, the original data sets was in alphabetic order by last name. The proc sort replaced original data set because there's no out statement. So the newly sorted data will replace original data sets with a data set that is sorted by the employee's ID number. We will get to know the sorting later through this link. We can talk about it, but let's have about 10 minutes break, and then we will regroup to go back. All of us will go to the SAS studio together. We will have some, in-class activities together. Let's have 10 minutes break. So let's come back together about 11:50, everyone. Okay, good.
I took it back.
Next Wednesday.
Yes, you mean the
Yes.
it's not the 15th. The deadline was 15th.
Okay, so the week of
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Friday, we already have to meet with that. That's the deadline is 15th, so 15th is next Saturday. Yeah, I think
15th is
next Saturday.
Yeah.
Next Saturday. Okay, so next Monday is okay.
Yeah, next one is.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
the last country in the world that wants to be discussed.
Here's another. Here's a. He's somebody that Robert. Rectangle. It's just. What are you doing inside? What are you doing?
Man.
Your phone. Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything.
What are you doing?
Tomorrow's the Indian election result.
Mm.
The party that is supposed to win is not winning. Yeah. it's sad.
Bad. The party. that
Everything
you
is sad,
like
everything is
not-
depressing.
You want, it's not.
Is it like bad, bad?
Decent party is not winning. Idiots are winning again. I mean, they are in power already. Yeah, it's all sad.
Did y'all type up your? Abilities transcript. Job type. Type, for sure. And I don't think they need physical. I just usually need some interesting, you know. That chance. Working. Is it charging?
Almost, yeah.
Almost?
It does that, well, it does the plug and then
And it's like 3 seconds, does that working?
now it's trying to, thank you.
What is, that's like too long.
I don't
It
know
should
why
be
it does
like-
that.
I think probably still that. If it costs you your mental health. If it causes you mental health. I'm talking nonsense here. If it causes you mental health. It is too expensive.
It causes you or costs you.
It costs you.
Costs. Then you have to use SAS.
Size. Yeah.
I don't think it would work.
Yeah.
I don't wanna know.
SPSS.
You, wait, what is your summer, is like the summer research you're working?
I'm supposed to work with right? So the project work to work on earlier on, but say it failed to, so you figure out.
That's how it goes. What was it? Like, why?
Yes, doing it.
What AI stuff are you working on right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, are
Alright.
you working on anything, machine learning, AI?
so what is actually working on thinking about like, you know, my last I think what was 73 more like talking about biopsychosocial really close using the biopsychosocial model to see how you function. look at individual differences in depth of treatment of consultation, it's anything more different. So thinking about, developing a predictive model, individualized model, for patient according to experience. I don't necessarily be now, but it's just something like in okay, so it's yeah, thinking about that. That's awesome. How about you?
Well, I was just wondering. Yeah.
Like the ones we're going to talk about AI going to replace people jobs. How is AI going to replace jobs? How do you think AI going to replace jobs?
I don't. We still, to me, that I just don't know, I know, yeah, I know there's a few of these things, but I still don't see the, as the teachers of people's jobs better. I don't see it. At least not us. I'm like. We still don't even know, is AI just. You know,
So I'm going to talk to them about it. How Microsoft Word and Excel can on the previous use every time. And then we have different uses applications to do jobs of people they use every time. The same thing. We do the same thing. It's more efficient. So we need to start to
I agree. I don't.
Okay, everyone, I apologize, I'm a little late. Now, in the second hour, we will go to SAS Studio just to recap what we have learned in today's lecture. I would say there are several points. One is, first task would be assigning a library. Another task would be proc import data, proc import CSV data into our SAS Studio. Another task would be proc contents, just to get a directory of the data sets, the data files. Another one will be proc sorting our data sets. So I want to invite all of you just to click the, go to the file. And in the My Share file links, under the U6447380, there is a week 1 code. I want us to just click the week 1 code together. Okay, so here is how we're gonna do. Well, I will use this just to demonstrate the points, the SAS programming with the functions we want to achieve. You can either, I actually invite you just click this one, click this. Let's see which one. Click this one on your right hand, up right hand. There is called a new SAS program. You can open it. So while we talk, you can program it without look at the week 1 code. Well, this is, we are not require everyone to submit it, but this really helps you to have hands-on experience once we talk. Those are, so if you make some mistakes, we can adjust them together. That's how I encourage you to do. Just have a program 1 for yourself, okay? So everyone's get the program 1 is, we get it, right? So you know you have like blank sheet you can code. Now let's recap what we have learned. You can open the program 1, you can start to code. We have to learn, first we have to learn create, let's look at here. Let's start to create a SAS data set. These steps helps you to create a SAS data set. Now, if you notice here, when you create a SAS data set, start with the data file. This actually means that you create a new data set named file. Well, just bear with me. You will know how to do it. Just bear with me. And then you set. The set means that you reference the data sets, means psyche, which is in the library called class. So before we do that, we have to first. Now let's go from the beginning. First, we assign a library. Everyone, let's assign a library called class. Or you can assign your library. I mean, let's assign a library called class. In your actually what I do here is assign a class under the share folder that reference to my my folder. But I'm not sure you can do that for yourself. So reference, you can do that. Let us assign us a library called class. That is the path that I did that. If you notice here, I assign a library called class, and then this is the location of my you can do that. This is the location. My class links to my folder. Is this path? Oops. So can anyone also assign create a library named class? Does it work?
Should be visible.
Does it work?
Mine?
Link to my folder, my share folder. Does it work?
Yeah, but it should be visible here, right? If it's working.
So everyone, you can, I mean, I encourage you to do the program, but you can just open week 1 code, run this statement in your laptop. Does this work on your laptop?
It did work, but I don't know how to see if it's showing up or not.
What?
It is running. I did run.
Okay, what you can do is go to the log. Okay, let me run it first. Okay, click this one. This one just means assign a library named class, and this is the PHAD. So I just run it, I highlight it, and then I run it. My log shows it does work. Does it work for everyone?
Yeah.
Just open the week one code. It work for everyone, okay? Okay. Well, at this time, feel free to raise your hand if you encounter anything, okay? Now, I want to create a new data set. So I have this data set, it's called Psyche. Let me open it. This data set has how many variables? 5 variables. And then 50 rows. One variable is called patient ID, the other variable is called sex, and the other variable is called depressant, and the other is gout and psyche dis. It's hard for us to understand all those variables, right? Of course, there's several ones, but what does this mean? We can click column labels. It does not label correct. It's all the same thing. Never mind. Well, we have these data sets, and I want to create a new data set because I do not want to, override this data if we want to do some modification. So I want to create a new data set. Go back to my problems. It's really easy. If you want to create a new data set, you start with a statement called data. Like we said, data statement, right? Start with the data. And then you give the data name. Here I give the name is called fire. Okay, now semicolon, you have to reference the existing fire you want the new data based on. You have then you wrote set, and the library is class, and the new data set, the old data set is called psyche, semicolon, run. Let's run this. Is that clear for everyone? So what we do here is it create a new data set named fire, which is exactly same as our existing data sets, psyche. Let's do that. Let's run this.
My
Sure.
question is,
Sure, please. Right.
this is a shared folder, and now if we create a file,
Yeah,
all the 4 of us will create with the same name, because I don't understand how it's gonna create. Where is it gonna create?
that's good question. That's good question. Hold it. Anyone can answer. That's really good question. Now let's run it. That's good question, Sai.
It's in work.
Yes,
You in,
yes,
In my work,
yeah.
yes.
You will be in my library.
Why is that in work? But
well, I
Ivy.
gave it a library, right? I gave it a library called class, so why is it
Yeah.
still in work?
Why is it work? That's good question, Ivy. Ivy give a correct answer. So how about hold on for 30 seconds? Let's run it first. Let's run it. Okay. We run it. We go to see the log. What does log tell us? Did I run too many folds? Just run this one. So let's go to log first. Data file class psyche is in a format that is like, okay, it should say new data is created. Okay, it shows there were 50 observations read from the existing data class.psyche, and the data set walk.file has 50 observations. Ivy is correct. So the new data is now in the walk library. Why? Ivy, do you want to share why? I mean, of course, log tells us, but why? And it goes back to Ben's question. We just have a one level name. So the one level name data will be automatically saved in work library. Am I everyone? Right? Right. Okay. Did you get it? I invite you just for our clarification. Go to the library. Click my library. What do you see here? You see a class. you also see a walk. Can anyone open his work library? Let me know, or her work library. Let me know what is in the work library. There is a file, right? So the file, the new data sets we created is in the work library. And we also already know because it's one level data set, it will be saved to the work library. That clear to everyone?
It's it's like when after the set is the original file. Data after the word that you put after data is the new file. Yes, so it's like anti-inclusive.
Oh, so set doesn't mean,
Set.
set
yeah,
means
the
a
word
new
for-
file.
No, set old file, data new file.
Yes,
The first line
Yeah.
is new file, second
Yeah.
line is old file.
yes.
It's
So the,
anti-inclusive.
yes. Look
Are
at
y'all
our,
typing this in your program one right now? Because that's what okay, me too.
yeah. So is that clear? Yes, Ivy is right. Sai, is that clear?
Correct, yeah.
Great, great. And these comments here also helps you to understand, right? That reference to the old data sets in the psyche. Well, you can also, add more comments just for your own understanding. Sure. Please.
I can't remember. Are we supposed to be putting Ron semicolon after everything, or are you putting this in the code right now just to delineate when to highlight and?
We can, it's, of course, it's optional.
Okay.
What I like actually, I mean, this is because we just start to learn. So we put as many just for your own understanding, but it's not required. You can also modify it. Everything green is comments. It won't run. So it's just for our own interpretation, understanding purpose. So if you like different color. And another thing is those in the blue means that code are correct. I mean, if you notice something red, it's sometimes just, some arrows is there. Okay, moving on. So we know how to create a SAS data set right now. The data, just to recap, the data is the new data set. And the set is your existing old data set. And then you have this statement one, okay? And we have this file saved in a workstation because it's only one level name. Moving on.
Sorry, I think it's
Sure.
clearer to say that because we did not specify when SAS, we did not specify the library where SAS should save the file, hence it saved it in temporary library.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if we say that because it's a one level,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's a bit confusing.
Okay, yeah.
It's more clearer to say because the way I understand the coding process is
Yeah.
I think it as a game and as a language
Mhm,
that this thing understands. So the data set file for me, the way I look at it when I look at this sharing SAS to look into the class library
mhm,
and within the class library, select the site data set.
mhm.
Then after selecting the site data set, create for me a new data set and name that data set file. So if I had specified before file here that after creating that new data set, save it within this particular library,
Mhm.
it would have saved it and then I click on and it got it for me. But because I did not specify,
Sure, sure,
it decided to save it within
Sure.
a temporary library, which is more.
sure. That's more clarification. Yes. Yeah, we can start to think in that way. Sure, Ben. Thanks for clarification. Like Ben said, I also agree. If we do not specify a particular library, we just give it a data set name, and it will automatically save in a temporary library walk, which SAS already, assigns us the temporary library. Okay, now everyone should have the file in the work library, which is a temporary library. And now moving on, it's actually the same thing. I mean, we just create a file, and if we wanted it to on purposely just, it's just gonna for our in-class activity, so we don't need to save it. We just have it like the file 2. We can just run it. It automatically, save in the temporary work folder. They will stay just for this section. They will stay active until we close this SAS station. Let's run it. I believe it's the same. It's
Same
actually
thing,
same thing.
right?
It's the same thing. It's just
The new name.
reiterate because as a beginner, sometimes you may, forget to assign a library. If it's just a reminder to you, like if you want to save it, assign a library. Otherwise, it's gonna be in the temporary work library. Now, what if we wanted to, create a new data set and we wanted to save it in our library?
Mention the library name, dot, and the new name.
Correct. Thanks, Sai. Yes. Then in the data steps, we will start with the library name and then have the data set name. So what do we do here? Like Sai mentioned, data. We call, we specify class, the library, and then the dot.
What if I get
Right.
super smart and type work there? Does it work?
Try it. That's good question. That's good question. You type a work there, it will be saved in the work library. You can think like this way. Work library is SAS has a temporary library. You call it work, you do not call it work, they will be there. But if you want to have a permanent, you have to call the permanent. I know it's a redundant, but I think you guys will get it. So we wanted to save this library. We have to call the library's name. It's called class. Okay, let's run this code from 66, 17, and 72. Let's run the 72, 72. Let's run it. Okay, let's go to the log.
I think we don't have access to it, so we're not able to create a
Oh, yes.
in class.
Oh, yes. That's good. Good point. That's a good point. Yes. What we can do here, I want us to do it here. A little practice. We have time. Little practice. Create your own library. And if your question, I will come. A little practice, maybe 10 to 15 minutes was. Okay. In your program 1, create your own library. Because class is, the instructor's library. I want you to create your own library. I know you all have your folder. So in the server, let me just quickly remind you how you can have your path. In your server file, if you can unlock, click the SASR v94. SASR v94 is your own folder. Now everyone has, you all have your own space, your folder there. SASR v94, and then click this one. There is a property, you can see your path. So start creating your own library. You can call your own library as whichever you want. I mean, my library, my class. Remember, we have some convention. It cannot be that much long, like 32, less than 32 characteristics would be fine. So please, everyone, create your own library. And first, and the second, can you please also create a new data set called a file and then create a data set called a file in your own library. So how about this? All of us create a new library named My Library. And then after that, create a new data set called a file based on the site key. So the file is in your library, in My Library. So 2 steps. Can everyone do it right now? Raise your hand. Resource handling finish. Not mine. Okay, perfect. Finish. Okay. Okay, share us what you do, Ben. Can we see your screen? Can I find this? Mhm.
You have every time you learn something, you should yeah,
Like I didn't tell you.
data set some data.
But like.
Yeah.
Lid,
And that's
drug,
my-
drug,
my class.
Besides,
Then you don't have to.
but everything else, the only thing that you.
Okay, perfect.
Data also you don't
I
have to run if
have
it's solved
some
by problem.
suggestion. What did you? Ben, good. I have some suggestion. Everyone, so I want, Ben, because we have final project in groups, right? Everyone is okay with group project. Ben, I need a group and sign and a group. Now, if you two finish, please help your neighbor, just check your neighbor's correctness. Let's do that for a few minutes. Is that okay, everyone? And then each group, I want a volunteer come here to demonstrate that task I mentioned. Is that okay, everyone? So I know Ben already finished, but work with your neighbor, check your neighbor's correctness. What we need to do, I'm gonna write a comments here, so to be clear what we want us to do, I will write a comments here. 2 tasks. Task 1.
I learned in my. I have, I think I like it.
Wait, I'm typing.
No. Yeah, because I have too many. I have too many. So when you open this now, we can see. Why is my drop down not? That means what it's.
So there are 3 tasks. One.
One.
Who can demonstrate? There are 3 steps, but I think we need to link to his or her laptop, do we? Or
You can create an yours and we can delete later.
can it log to 2 people simultaneously?
Can we sorry?
Can anyone want to demonstrate here? Can any volunteer? So
Type it in that.
Yeah, we'll just create an yours and delete. That's one.
2 groups are all fixed, right? You help your neighbor help you. So we are all good, right? Okay. So can we have volunteer from each one of the group?
Just type it here.
Yes, so just type it here. Okay, thank you, Ivy. First step is to create a library. Yes, start with living.
Should already be one with that
Lightly.
name.
Good.
There might already be something with that name.
But we haven't,
That's good.
Give it some number.
where do you want me to do it?
Great
I-
library.
I can do it everywhere.
We can only do
Here?
it here, right? We can only do the SAS V94.
No,
Yeah.
so what I do is because I have other folder, I have I can do it. Yeah, okay.
Yes, SAS V94. Yeah. Okay, we get to know the path from the property. Mhm.
You want me to run this
Yeah,
now?
yeah. Oh, sure. We can do that. We can do that. So what does log tell us? Ivy, can you be a little slow? Yeah. Yeah. What does log tell us?
Successful, that's all.
The link my library was successfully assigned to the link Ivy shows. This is the SAS V94. Okay, that's good, Ivy. Thank you. Okay, now we want to create a data set. Called my file.
Should I also create the class first, class folder here? Because it should be that way, right?
Yeah.
There's already a class folder, no? I already created it.
But
We need to, so where's Psyche? Where's the file Psyche? Ivy is right, we have to create that.
Why are we creating a class folder?
no, it's
not-
just for, if you close everything and when you open this sheets and then you could just run it here, then it will create class and my link.
Do not understand.
Because when you close this,
You're creating a class
Browser-
subfolder inside the library folder. What are you trying to do?
Wait a second, because we need to reference to the old folders, Psyche, right? Psyche being. Everyone got it?
Yeah. Basically, what I think the trying to achieve is because the initial one was class of psychic, but now you created my library before that part of that. So assuming the psychic file is within that SAS user document, it's simply saying my lib.psychic. Create a new file, specify for it to be saved in any other folder.
Yeah.
So, but because the file is already existing within that folder, you integrate the second one, second library.
No, my point was it's already run and it's already your system, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to, was my point. That's it.
We still.
If
have
it was
to-
my system, I need to do the second
we
step.
still have to, we still have to have that class library, even if it's my system, we have to refer to that folder.
We still need to
Yeah.
upload that. We
Mm.
still need to refer
Yeah.
to that folder.
Yeah, think about this. The Psyche is in a living room called class. We still have to name the living room as a class. So we can move the Psyche file from the living room to your dining room, which now called my lab, my lab. That doesn't make more sense.
No, my question is.
Yeah.
When I was doing it in my system,
Mhm.
I had to refer it and I had to bring the second thing up to set the third line of code. I have to do it for my system because I have to refer to it and asking it to come up.
Yeah,
Why do I have to do it in yours? It's already yours, right?
it's
I mean, the
already,
username there, the third thing and the last thing is the same thing. Why am I doing it again?
but anyone can answer, but Sai,
what's
that's the
your question?
Why are we doing the third step in her system is my question.
Because that create a library called class here.
I got
And this library has everything she has in this share folder. Like we capture that, pull that from the folder to the library, to the class library here. And then here we grab this site folder from the class library and create it, put it in my lib as the
Yeah.
name file.
Yeah, so answer the question, we need to start from the beginning of
Yeah.
the class.
Yeah.
You know, when we started, we wanted to use the library, the class library wasn't there before. when we started this.
In your system, it wasn't there.
No,
My system, it wasn't there. Her system, it's already there. So my point is, what I'm trying to ask is,
Oh,
when we do
no.
it in her system, we don't have to do it as much.
If I close it, I don't have it here because I also just run it, but I just run it. I just run it.
Yeah, right.
I think it's more like a best practice to have everything on the same code.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
It's just best practice to have
Because I
everything on the
just
same
have-
code.
I just open it.
And but we need to address where the problem is coming from. The problem is coming from the fact that when we started, we never intended to create a new library aside from class library, because the reason why we created a new library was because we didn't have access to the initial library. So that's where the problem is coming from. You understand? Assuming we have access to the the shared library, we wouldn't need to create a new lib library using the SAS user folder. So the reason why we needed to create a new library was because we don't have access to the shared folder.
Correct.
So
Correct.
if we don't address why we needed to create a new lib folder, he won't understand why we have two libraries created.
That's good. Okay. I think Sai has a good question here. Sai did have really, yeah. So also for my own clarity, let's go to here. This folder have this is just a share folder. I can modify, but you all can only view or download. You cannot modify. So that's why with the class, you need to create a new folder, which one you can modify. That's here how the IV's MyLib comes into picture. But I understand Sai mentioned, why do I need to create a class library? Because I also need to, if I want to have it in my library, same with you, I also need to specify the position of this folder. Or we can also maybe just to give the path here, because I also need to specify this folder here. I also need to mention this folder. Because I have a folder in this share, I want to specify, hey, this is the data set within this folder. So I have a class, but I also want to demonstrate that because I don't need my library, but I want to demonstrate that. That gives some clarification.
I mean, I understand what you are saying. I don't know if it's completely clear.
Yeah.
Because
do not worry, guys. We will get more practice, will be more straightforward to you. I know,
sorry,
because
this folder part here.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah. We don't have access to this.
Correct.
But we have access to this.
Yes, everyone is unique.
This class library was never existent within this library folder. If you close it now, you won't see it.
Yes,
If
because
we all
I just
close it,
wrote it.
you won't
Because
see
I
it.
just wrote this. Yes, because
Yeah.
But Sai's also correct. We already created. We may not need to create it here when I wrote it, but just for our understanding, yes.
And then
correct.
when you create the new
Mhm.
library, what happens is every SAS file that was present within this shared folder will automatically appear within this library. When you create this new library,
My library.
yeah, when you create that new library,
Yeah.
and you go here and check
Mhm.
every SAS file that is present
That's true.
within
That's true. That's true.
will appear here within that library.
That's true. But you
So that's
guys,
the only way you can access it.
one quick point. Thank you, Ben. One quick point is because my library, I have more SAS file here. So my lib, which Ivy helped me to create, will have everything here. But your lib may not. Size my lib may not, because you do not have all these SAS file in your SAS v94. Okay, let's check that. Can everyone also check what is in your MyLib library? Do not worry. We will get more clarification once we run it 1 time, 2 times. It will very straight for everyone. So click my library in your my lib. I have file and import here because my local server file, I already have this too. You may only have file, right? Everyone, right? You do not have import because I already have import there. So this one linked to my, it will become very straight for you once get to know that. It's how to say it's, yeah, it will become it, but feel free to ask.
Okay, I don't understand import now.
Oh, I totally get you, Sai. Tell me what's in your my lib.
Just the file that I've created.
Okay, okay. Now I will show you, because you get it, this one, right? You get this, I will create this one, right? My lib links to this one. No, why do I have this? Because I already have import in my SAS v94. So when I create a library, what I already have in my server file will be reflected in my library. Clear?
Yeah.
But you all do not have it. Okay. Right.
One more thing I wanted to add was, why do we need to create a new
Okay.
library?
Yeah.
So because I feel like for me, this is how it makes sense to me.
Sure.
So that
Sure.
when I hit a roadblock, I'm able to rationalize why I'm doing it. So
Mhm.
we need to create a new library. I mean, we already have access to the file from the server, right?
Yeah.
But we need to create a new library because we don't want to make adjustments directly from the server. Right? So it's just like saying you have a repository of files within the managed folder, and then you want to create a copy of it that you want to adjust, but you don't want any adjustments to be made to the primary repository. So what you just do is, what SAS does is it just takes those files, creates a copy of it, and puts it within the new library you have created, keeping the ones in the primary repository safe to make your adjustments within your new library. It gives you access to the files within the repository
Sure.
without allowing you alter it.
Sure. I also wanted to quickly adjust. Also, one thing you notice here, my server file have a lot of things, but my lib, I only have the import. Why? Because CSV is not SAS 7B dot, so the library will not automatically have that. The only 7B dot is file and import, which is a SAS data set. This is just SAS programs. This is a SAS, if you notice here, it's a SAS data set. So the library will pick it up.
I have one last question.
Sure.
Can you go to your class folder here on the
Sure.
left side in libraries?
Got it.
Yeah. We have 4 files here.
Yes.
And now can you go to your shared folder?
Yeah, remember there are 4 files here, okay? They are
Only SAS 7 dat files will come.
Yes.
No other thing will come.
Yes, exactly. That's also I want to mention. Yes. Only those is a SAS data set. If you notice here, this is SAS data sets. We'll pick it. The library will pick
What is
it
the
up.
extension for that? SAS 7, what does BDAT mean? In your
SAS 7B dat.
any
It's just once you have that, you will get familiar. SAS 7B dat is SAS data sets. You have this CSV sales sheet, they do not pick it up. And the ends with SAS, we mentioned is the SAS programs. SAS program. So only SAS data sets, the library will automatically pick it up. Okay. Now, good discussion, everyone. Good discussion. Thank you, Ivy. Because of the time, we were moving forward, and next task we will invite Sign NK group to do some volunteering. Now let's moving on because of time. Which line are we? Now, we just talk about creating a temporary file, permanent file. Now moving on to 85. 85 is about proc import. We have seen that code. So I want us just to write your own code. Of course, working with your neighbor. Right now, be independent. After you write it, work with your neighbor.
Didn't we just learn that CSV is a delimited thing? So
Yes.
wasn't it supposed to be DBL or something,
Oh,
DBM or something?
okay. The CSV.
TXT and
Question.
CSV were delimited files, right?
CSV, let me go to, how about this? Let's first try this one first and then try that one. I know what you mentioned, Sam. So everyone first, write a proc import. And write a proc import. Import the file, which is import example CSV. You have to download here. Like I said, you can download here. I'm not sure whether you can use exactly code. Oh, I'm totally fine. You can use exactly it. You can access here. You don't need to download it because you can access my folder. You can access my folder. Everyone, for this time, use proc import so that you can import the file called import underscore example CSV. You can import this because we have shown you that your library did not have anything other than SAS 7b dot. So I want you to let SAS assessing the import example CSV file and then put it in your workstation, put it into your work library. So you have to run this code. And maybe I will give you some demonstration here. So this code is the foundation. Let me just check the data file link, okay? Let me check the data file link, whether it's correct. So here, let me check, let me check the data link. Because you have seen that CSV is in the share folder, right? Let me check the data link. Yes. Okay. Oops. If this is the data link, this is the data file, which is here in the property. Now, proc import out. I mentioned I want us to have this to import this data into the workstation. So we just need to give the data set name, which we called import underscore example. Okay, we don't need to specify the library because let's just save it in the workstation. And Sai gives a good point. DBMS.
I just saw the type. I just saw the slide. I got it.
Got it, right? If CSV is called CSV, if it is delimited TXT is called DLT, right? Okay, perfect. This one, if it is CSV, we just DBMS. The type of the delimited is just CSV. Okay. You may need to modify it next time is TXT, but so far it's just CSV. Now let's run it. Okay. Also, get name. You put yes, and data row equals 2. Let's see. That's
What is that? What is the replace function stand for?
the replace function. What I understand is it's gonna replace the existing file. If they already have something, import example there, they will just replace it, override it. That's how I understand it. But that's not a problem for us because we do not have existing same name. Let's just run it. Now, let's see the log.
It should be.
That's because.
What did the log tell us?
Yeah.
What's the data?
So let's see the log, everyone.
So she'll really important to see.
If 50 records were read from the in file. And the walk, let's see the log, everyone. The walk import example data was created. And now let's move on to the library. Go ahead.
Why do we use data row equals 2?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Is there over 2 variables?
Data row equals 2. That's a good question. You guys know why? So let's go back to question quickly. That's a good question, okay. The first row will be just the row name. So the observation 1 starts from the second row. So we have get name, yes. So the new data sets, the first row is just the variable name. And then the observation equals 1 starts from the second row, data row equals 2. Okay, good question. Now let's go to the libraries. Connect your work library, as we said, but everyone, I already mentioned we look at log first. Make sure in your log there's nothing red. I mean, of course, I encourage you just to review the log. As I showed here, they mentioned 50 records were read from this pass. And then the walk import example data was successfully created. So look at your log first before you check whether it's in my library. Sorry, whether it's in your walk library. Look at your walk first. Now click the walk. Everyone should see the import underscore example. This now is a SAS data set you created. Okay, and your log should also look like this. Like it just tells you that walk.import underscore example data was successfully created. Raise your hand if you get both of these things correct. Okay, great, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you, everyone. Now, go back to the code. I want us to do additional tasks. We have just seen that we have successfully imported the import underscore example CSV into work library. I want us to import the importing underscore example CSV into my library you just created so that it can be permanent, that may be useful for your homework. So write your code first and then work with your neighbors. I will give everyone about 3 to 5 minutes. Raise your hand if group 1 or group 2 finish. 3 to 5 minutes. And then we can continue with the program 1 here, just finish this task. And I want invite volunteer to help with that.
It's just.
But the one friendly reminder, do the coding independently first, and then check your neighbor, work with neighbor. Yeah. Okay, we will have 3 to 5 minutes. We need more time or? Oh, sure, yeah, yeah, more time. And Ivy and Ben, you check those. Yeah, please check your neighbors, please. You know, QC others code is also important. This also reminds us you need to put a comments there. Please put a comment so your neighbor can understand. Put a comments there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I know. That's how I know you find it.
Well, because of.
Because it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and please put a comments.
Thanks, I didn't even need Yeah. Do you have a journal? Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's,
but you. Yeah. Yeah.
So. say
I
that-
don't know, this is another two.
So you should go on 7.
I think this was wasn't that I said that you
But it's really mixed. Like,
No, I
sure.
say it.
And you do this to say what it is. Going to be this.
So you did
And you want it to
do
be
it.
this.
Well,
These
if
were
you
the
want it, then just-
messages.
If we do it through-
So this
It will repeatedly show up here. If you everything is here. And then this will run in.
the name of. Not but. It's one to be important.
The last word is the last. I don't know. We don't want that. Because you repeatedly have to write it.
It's funny, I put it in this. Then we got my change into this. Just so it fits the floor.
You have bunches of- you have bunches of shots.
We will have 2 or 3 minutes more. Raise your hand if you group finish. Okay, group 1 finish, group 2. Okay, can group 2 be a volunteer this time? Anyone? Oh,
I go to.
yes, please.
You do.
I just put more information here so that and you can write your name there. Do you if you okay with it? Yes, yeah, sure.
Was it?
Oh, yes. Do you mind just go down like after I restart? Yes, yes. Yes.
Right, anyone? No.
You can, if you are okay, comfortable, yes. So you can put your code after the comments. Perfect.
Bob,
Frog. Mm-hmm.
sports,
Import.
import,
Oh, yeah, importing data to SAS, yes.
import,
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mhm.
Equals,
Nice, very nice.
Miley.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever name.
well. I wanna name it that God. And,
Very nice.
uh, you pull it from, was it data? Equal data, equals, and then Is there a
Yeah.
Oh,
mouse?
yes.
Ah, there it is. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh. On here. Okay.
Very nice.
We're not. Let's see.
Down arrow, set down arrow twice. I got deleted.
Um. D
BNS.
BMS
Mhm.
equals CSV
They're all different options. Yes, CSV.
replace,
Mhm.
and then that was a semicolon, and then.
Yeah, semicolon.
then-
Mhm. We go to log, yes. Okay. The data sets my lib had what this one, my lib import example was successfully created. Let's give group two a little plot. Little plot. I know group one already also did that, but because of time. Another quick thing I want to show what NK did. We may also already know, just also confirm my lib. We have this import example here right now. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Now moving on. It's the sorting data sets. Group one, okay, right? Okay, perfect. Okay. It's the sorting data sets. Sorting data sets, we use proc sort. Everyone. Proc sort data equals psyche and by patient ID run. Tell me you have done that successfully. So let me run this. Because in my work library, I have the psyche data sets. If you notice here, oh, I don't have the psyche here. Oops. Okay, we need to run it again. Okay. Oh, it's named by thank you, Ivy. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ivy. We have created temporary file in a workstation named as a file. So what we do here is just use proc sort to sort the temporary file, to sort the file, name the files, houses in the work library. Let's just sort it that. Let's go to the log. There were 50 observations read from the work file. The work file has 50 observations. What we can check is under the My Library, go to the work, double click the file to see the patient ID has been sorted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Okay, it has been successfully sorted. Let's me run this newly created this one again. at the beginning, before we run in the sort, I just want us to show the file, the patient ID. Oops. It's. Oops. Let me run this one again. Okay. I also created a file 2 there. The file 2 is exactly the psyche one, which what I do here, okay, let me just quickly recap. What I do here is I run this code. So file 2 is in work library. So let's open the file 2. The file 2, the patient ID is just unsorted. Okay, everyone. But I want to sort it here. I want to sort it, but also I want to save it in a new data set. So I also have old data sets, file 2. What I need to do is additionally in the proc sort statement, I have to use the out statement. This is the file 2. I need to use the out statement. Okay, everyone. And by default, the patient ID will be sorted in ascending order. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to sort it in a descending order, you have to put by descending. Otherwise, it will be sorted automatically ascending. Let's just run it. So I have 2 sets of code here before I run. A little attention from everyone, just a little attention. I have 2 sets of code. They look almost exactly, let me before running that, let me just, a little attention from everyone. Let me run this code first. Okay, I got it, everyone. So proc sort, like I said, by default, let's just run this code first. What you will notice that they have been sorted. If you look at the log, the data set work file underscore sorted has 50 observations, proc sort procedure used. So let's go to the workstation. The file sorted is now sorted the patient ID, which is ascending order 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What if you want to we need to close all of them. We need to close the data set. Go to the code. What if you want to sort it in a descending order? So start with the biggest, 50, and then 49. Let's run this code. You will notice right now, go to the log. Always check the log first before you check anything else. Check the log first. The data set walk.fire to sorted had 50 observations of procedure sort used. Now, go to your library, go to the walk, and then check fire to sorted. You will notice the opposite. Patient ID starts with 50, then 49, then 48, because you use ascending order now. And you can also sort the data sets use two variables. Let us show you later. That's very interesting. Let me write it. Let's see what happened. Let's run it. Oh, fire cannot be, okay.
No dot. Oh.
I just because I open it, so I cannot. You have to close that data set in order to run it. Let's see, a data set may be incomplete. What file to solid was not replaced with file to solid.
Is it?
I don't know.
That should not be a reason, right?
What?
Yeah.
Because that's what you're
You're
reading.
easy.
I'll try running.
If it runs now,
But is the out what you're renaming it to?
Let me
Yeah.
see. Let's see what happened.
still not run.
Table cannot be because it does not.
File.
Is her insurance in it?
Insurance, yeah.
There's no insurance.
Correct. Let me see what's in the file too. Oh, okay, there's no insurance benefit. Yes, sure, let's do it.
Yeah. R does a good job here. You can see the variables on the top, the name of the variables
Yeah.
on the top.
Yeah. But this is not case sensitive. Let's run this one. Okay, let's see the log. The data set what file sorted had 50 observations, 5 variables, proc sort used. Now, let's see what happened because we right now sorted 2 variables. Let's go to the one. Let's see the file 2 sort. I'm sorry, file 2. What you notice here is that they will sort the sex variable, the gender first, according to the code. So sex equals 0, maybe all the female will be listed. And within the female, they will then sort the patient ID from the smallest to the largest. And if you scroll all the way down, there are 90 females here. And starting from row 20, they are all the males, sex equals 1. And from there, they then, within that male cohort, they then sorted patient ID. That clear? When you sort the 2 variables, they will start with grouping the first variable, sex equals 0, sex equals 1. And then within each group, they will then sort the second variable, patient ID, from smallest to the largest. If you have insurance, same thing. Insurance equals 0, maybe, and then insurance equals 1, and then insurance equals 2. Then with the insurance equals 0, they have patient ID from smallest to the largest. With the insurance equals 1, they have patient ID from smallest to largest. Okay. Now, last practice to practice the sort. Let's see what else in the file. What else in the Okay. Now, because our practice right now, so is that clear, the proc sorting? Okay, the ascending, descending, and then you have to use out statement to save it in a new data set. Now, let us give a quick practice. I also want any volunteers. Let me close this. Let's do a quick practice here. Sort the fire. You all have the fire here, right? Right? Sort the data sets named the fire and save it in mylib. And I want us to sort it with two variables. Let's see what variable we have here. So in fire, if you notice, we have 5 variables. So how about I sort? I don't know what GAD is, but I feel this one is depression or not.
Yes, the GAD is a metric.
GAD is a metric.
Metric of measuring depression.
Okay, what about
I
psyche
think
dis?
it's GPG generalized anxiety disorder. It's in.
Oh, another disease.
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
what about psychic dis?
Psychiatric disease.
Okay, psychiatric, okay, sure. How about us to sort in these data sets with psychiatrist dis, which is psychological disease, right?
I think it's a distance from like clinical. So it's
Okay, how about just depression, everyone is depressed. How about we sort it? The 2 variables, one is depression. We want to see within depression, what is the patient ID? With depression, without depression, so sort it with depression and patient ID. So you can help your clinician colleagues to see within depression, what are those patient ID from smallest to the largest, to help with your clinician colleagues. And save these data sets in mylib. So when you finish your coding, your clinician collaborator can still see your sorted data sets. Save it in the mylib. So I'm gonna add a statement here. That's what so give yourself maybe maximum 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. Finish first and talk to your neighbors.
So we think we send in patient ID
Um,
or just before sending
let's do it descending.
patient.
Let's do it descending. Sort file by depression. Patient ID. And save it. Save it in the mylib library. Okay. Library. So once you finish, check your neighbors. Once you and your neighbors are finished, raise your hand.
What's the question? The one that you.
I will be right back. I will be right back.
Do you also want us to sort the depression?
Or now, you think I should go?
Depression, that's fine.
I should go to.
Depression, that's fine.
So depression is.
Which one is, which way? So the ID is descending or you want the one with.
Let me
depression
write
to
here.
first?
Let me write here.
But I understand what you're doing. That's what
Sort by depression and patient
Instead of
ID.
doing another.
It's called
Firstly.
Okay. Okay. So depression started with no depression, depression ascending order. And then patient ID, we can go descending order. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. when you finish, and also when you're done helping your neighbors, raise your hand. Okay, great, great. So how about we invite either one of you who have not come here to show us the coding? Any volunteers? I hope it's not a difficult task. Any volunteers? Thank you, Sai. Thank you, Sai. Thank you, Sai. A. Rock salt. Fire. Out.
Sorry,
Sure.
force of habit.
The name will help you to remind what you do. So that's, yeah, sure. Sorry. Okay.
As he has neck thing. Was that neck thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like,
Yeah.
Five. Very nice. Okay, check the log. Check the log. Yeah, check the log. Always check the log. Okay. So there's 3.
It's actually in the output data. You can just look at it in the output data.
Mhm. No, I was not trying to open, just trying to see what was go.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's here, right? Can we open it?
You don't have to, you can actually see it in output data.
Oh, I'll put the data.
Yeah,
Where? Oh, okay. Nice.
So you have.
So
right.
what have site successfully finished?
This is mine, yes.
So the table name is MyLib Bio33, which site created with a sorting procedure. And site tell us what we have seen here.
People without depression arranged in descending order.
Very nice. And those with depression also descending order. How many depressant people? If you can read here, help you. 37, right? And then
37 without depression.
without depression,
Yeah,
yes.
13 with depression.
38 until the end is with depression. Really helps your clinician collaborators to see, colleagues to see, with a depression, what a patient ID, without depression, what a patient. Okay. Thank you, Science. Good job, everyone. That's all the in-class you do. Now I will close this. Before I close it, I want everyone also save your programs. Let me see how to see. And Sai, I want you to add your name here. I can add your name here. The topic I will add it. And you also encourage you when you do a problem, also wrote it here. So the code and the date, content, the program, your name. So whenever you want to share, for example, Sai want to share with the code with Ivy. Ivy helps Sai QC the code, quality check the code. They can see what is the date and the information here. So I want you also add these comments here. Now, once you add all the detailed information and what you have done here, see what I add here. First task, second task. I need to add a second task here. I can. But I can save this program. You all can save this program. Let's save it. And you can save it in your folder, which is SAS V90 for you. This one you don't have access, but this one you can save in your own folder. That's the V94. Within that, I create my own folder. You can also create yours. Everyone is different, so I'm gonna just save here. Close it. This one already, okay, I can save it. And then if you go to your, let's see, I saved it here, I saved it here. Program 1, maybe it's also better to have it today's date. Okay. So next time when I read it, I know on this date, I conduct program 1. Okay, you all save it? Okay, all good. Now I'm gonna close this SAS Studio. I'm gonna shift this to the last part is just quickly summarize what we have learned today, and then talk a little bit about homework. On Friday, we will provide, I'm not saying solution, but on Friday, bring your question to the class if possible. Now let's just recap what we have learned. We have learned about 8 topics today. One is understanding the user interface in SAS and SAS Studio. And second is referencing a library in SAS using listening statement. We also learn how to explore and reading data sets using proc contents, using proc print. We did not have time to practice proc print today.
Did we do proc content?
Yes, yes, definitely. Maybe not right now.
We didn't do today, right?
We did not do, but the code is available in the slides. And we also emphasize proc and data statement, proc and data steps. We have shown you how to creating the same and new SAS data sets. We have also emphasized the temporary library versus the permanent library, like the work library and then your permanent library. You have to specify at the beginning. And we have shown you use the proc import statement that you can import your either CSV file or delimited file into SAS in a way that SAS can read. It's gonna be a SAS 7B.5 file. Lastly, we have also shown you the sorting procedure. The default is ascending from smallest value to the largest value. You can always modify it using the descending, and you can sort it based on more than 1 variables. At this time, we have just shown you the basic function of sorting, and also it's also a good practice to specify the proc either in proc import and proc sort specified out, so you can save the sorted one or the new SAS data sets into another library or with a different name. You don't have to override existing, especially when it comes to sorting procedures. That's so far for our 8 topics today. Now, here comes our homework. Homework 1, which is due this Friday midnight. And I will show you this. We need to submit on the Blackboard, which I can show you maybe on Friday. Right now, it's we are kind of do not have enough time, but on Friday I will show you how to submit the homework assignment. But before Friday, I want us to start to read the homework, start to do this practice. Now, homework first. Create a library named MyLake to reference to a user folder of SAS Studio. 2, use the SAS import wizard. We have not touched on it, but we can talk about it on Friday. But it's just a point and click to import the file named import example CSV into SAS dataset, saving the resulting code for your homework submission. And 3 is save import data sets into a permanent library you have created in the step 1. Make sure this is reflected in your code. And 4 is use proc contents to examine the directory of your data sets. And 5 is in the imported data sets, sort the variable named marriage, like marriage underscore st. So the sorted data sets is saved in the new file in your temporary work library. Lastly is save your sorted data sets in permanent library that you have created at the beginning using a data steps, So those are the 6 homework. They have 6 specific questions, which I encourage us to start to read it, start to do the homework, do the practice, and do the program by yourself in a program 1, like we know how to start that new programs. And when you submit homework, I want us to submit both your programs, as well as we need to submit the snapshot of your logs. The log is really important. Also, maybe you can also submit your output, but to me, I really want to see the log. The log says, hey, the data sets have been successfully created. And like I said, always check your log when you run each steps. Now, we will talk about the specific homework solutions together. We will work them on Friday. Also on Friday, let me see. Another task on Friday is we will talk about the final project. So I have kind of finalized the final project, if I can. So we are good with this one. We all have access, right, in week 1. Okay, great. This is first agenda for the Friday. Another agenda for the Friday will be if you can go to the My OMIS box right now, there's a final project in a Word document. If you can review it before Friday, that would be great. I mean, we don't necessarily, of course, that's the final project. We're gonna submit it, end of this class, but start to review it on Friday. We can talk briefly about it. Maybe if you have time, maybe 30 minutes or 50 minutes. Because I want us to get to know what are the expectation from the final project. It is here in the class project, My OMIS box. There is this class project. That I kind of finalized the final project. You don't need, definitely just review it if you are okay with it. Like I said, I encourage group presentation, but if either one of you feel, hey, I just want to be independent, I'm also open to that. Just let me know. So by Friday, before Friday, just review it, look at it generally, okay?
Now, when I'm in the data step, if I give the web link, will it download directly? Will that work?
The link? It will, but I'm saying that just get, how to say, you don't need to, I will show you more like the details next time, but I just want you guys start to get to know what are the final presentation, final project looks like. We will spend more time later. And actually, if you look at syllabus, last week, Monday, we will talk in detail about it. But this project is due the last day of the class and also midnight. Other than that, I think we are good for now. And then I will just thank you everyone for your attention, and I really enjoyed the class with you all. Now we'll stay here for a few minutes if you have any questions until 1 p.m. I will stay in class. Other than that, are we clear for the next Friday and this Friday? Okay. Also, by the way, Ivy, I have created a Zoom link for you to attend on Friday.
I think like that's so many. I see you create.
Oh, Yeah, I created Zoom link. I will check that. I will check that. I will check that. So on Friday, you can access that. I will check that.
I have a good question regarding the logs.
Yes.
So, how do you know, when you say you want a snapshot of it, because every time you run it, you want the snapshot, screenshots.
Yes, screenshot.
Each time you run the code.
Yes.
we attach
Yes,
it.
yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay, everyone, class is over. I'm just gonna stay here. Thank you, everyone. We don't need to click save, right? It's gonna automatically save, right, the recording.
Yes, it will come to your Blackboard.
Very